What's up gamers, withSix here with another ArmA 3 tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to install the ACRE mod. It was one of the most popular mods for ArmA 2 and it's one of the most anticipated ones for ArmA 3, I'd say. There is no official version of this one for ArmA 3 beta, but the guys at United Operations did their own port over, and I'm going to show you how to install their version because so far it is working with the beta. It is a port over from ArmA 2. It's not a completely new thing, it's not like really tweaked for ArmA 3 just yet, but it does work and it's great and efficient to use it on a large multiplayer server with a lot of players on TeamSpeak. All those of you who already know what ACRE is, please give me a minute to explain it to the noobs here. I'm gonna show you how to download the United Operations version and install it, play with withSix just after that. ACRE is ACRE and means Advanced Combat Radio Environment. The mod is only for multiplayer and it works in combination with TeamSpeak 3. The goal of that mod is to organize the communications on TeamSpeak, make them more realistic, and yeah, it just keeps the whole thing running a bit smoother. If you are playing on a multiplayer server with like 30 people on TeamSpeak and everyone is in the same channel and talks at the same time, it's not playable. You cannot lead this way and it's a total mess. ACRE will help you to organize your squads with different radio channels and a few other features. In game you can use a variety of different radios where you can adjust some handles and switches, you can change the power, you can select channels, and you can organize your squads and radio channels according to your mission's needs. After that, TeamSpeak will only communicate with players who use the same frequency on the radios and are within the maximum range of transmission. You have also an extra feature that is direct communication. This means if you're standing close to another player in game, he can actually hear you on TeamSpeak, but if you're further away, you will have to transmit on your radio for other players to hear you. Keep your eyes open for patrols.
Copy that. Have the enemy got night vision?
Probably, yeah. So that's ACRE in a nutshell. As you could hear, the mod also simulates radio clicks and some sort of static over the incoming voices, so it's a lot more realistic and it adds to the immersion of the game. Okay, now I'm gonna show you how to install that baby. Just be advised, I'm just gonna show you how to make it running. I'm not gonna explain you how the mod works. As mentioned before, this version right here is just a port over from ArmA 2. It does work, but it's not an official ArmA 3 add-on. I'm not gonna do a full-scale tutorial just yet because a lot of stuff is subject to change in the beta, and I'm pretty much pissed off because as soon as I do a tutorial maybe a week or two later, it's already outdated and I could already do a new one, but that's simply not worth the effort. However, if ACRE is gonna be released in a full-scale mod for ArmA 3, I'm certainly gonna make a full-scale tutorial for it. If you don't know how ACRE works, there's no need to cry and shout and give me a hard time in the comments below. Just check out the linked tutorials for the ArmA 2 version. As I mentioned before, the stuff works exactly the same way. So if you watch the ArmA 2 tutorials, you're gonna be able to use those radios in ArmA 3 as well. Alright, enough with the talking, let's get started. To download the United Operations ACRE version, you will have to go to their website. A link to that page is in the description below. It requires you to use either withSix Updater or play withSix. I advise play withSix because it's the newer software, and as I hear, withSix Updater is gonna go out of business anytime soon, and they will only continue their support on play withSix. If you're already familiar with play withSix and use that software for your ArmA 2 and ArmA 3 mods, you're good to go. You can continue watching this video. If you do not, I advise you to watch the tutorial I made. Click on the picture right on your screen if you're watching from your web browser with the annotations turned on, otherwise use the link in the description. Once you have watched the tutorial, installed play withSix and familiarized yourself with the software, come back here and continue watching the tutorial. On the UO side you will see a bunch of links. The first 6 links are for withSix Updater and the other 6 links on the bottom are for play withSix. I use the SRV6 link. I'm not sure if it actually matters, but this one works for sure. If you click on that link, it will open your play withSix software that you have already installed and you will end up on the mods page. The ArmA 3 alpha logo has not yet been updated to beta. Doesn't matter. You should see the preset from United Operations ACRE, and in there you got 3 mods: ACRE J ArmA 3 library and United Operations CBA A3. The mods on the bottom there, you will not see them because I added them individually to this preset. you should have the update symbol on the right, and that button there should be orange and say update. Click on update to download those 3 mods. After that, it's really important to make sure the game is launched as administrator. Go to tools, settings, game settings at the bottom, and then you should see that window or that line that says run game as administrator. Just making sure you can actually see it. Force run as administrator and make sure the box is checked. ACRE requires you to launch the game as well as your TeamSpeak 3 in administrator mode, otherwise it will bug out. Okay, we have ACRE set up on Play with 6. Now we gotta make sure our TeamSpeak is configured properly with the ACRE plugins and also force run as administrator, and after that we're ready to launch the game. To enable admin mode for your TeamSpeak 3, search for your shortcut, right click on it, launch as admin, or go to properties and then advanced, I guess, I'm not sure what it's called in English. And here you can enable it for a permanent use, so tick that box, hit OK, and after that apply. I advise you to do that because it saves you trouble afterwards. Admin mode is turned on, we're ready to launch TeamSpeak 3, and here we're gonna check if the ACRE plugins that are really important for the ACRE use, obviously, have been installed correctly by the Play with 6 software. Go to settings and then plugins, and somewhere in that list on the left side you should see ACRE. If you click on that, on the right side it tells you ACRE plugin, software version, blah blah blah. It says ArmA 2, but you don't have to worry about that. As mentioned multiple times, it is a port over version, not an official ArmA 3 mod, so don't worry about that. Make sure it's enabled, close it down, and we're good to go. Should those plugins not have been installed automatically on TeamSpeak, you will have to do that manually. Open up your Play with 6 mod folder, and somewhere on the bottom probably it should say server mods, and that's where that United Operations ACRE preset is installed. You see the 3 mods, ACRE, ArmA 3 library, and United Operations CBA. Open ACRE, and there you should see a folder called plugins, and in here you get 2 files, one for Windows 32-bit and one for 64. Just copy them or mark them basically and hit Ctrl C. Then you open up your TeamSpeak 3 installation folder, search for the plugins folder, and just copy those 2 files in here. So here you see them. I have obviously already installed them in that folder. So you have to extract them from the ACRE add-ons folder because that's where they're downloaded, and you have to copy them into your TeamSpeak plugins folder. After that's done, go back to your TeamSpeak 3, open settings, then plugins, and make sure they are actually activated. Now we're ready to join the TeamSpeak 3 server. Be advised here, you cannot use that mod on any server. The server itself has to use the same plugins for it to work, but a lot of the major servers do use ACRE, especially for ArmA 2. ArmA 3 is not like really popular yet, but it's coming. Once you're on TeamSpeak, join the channel, click on your name, and on the right side you should see ACRE, the version, and ArmA 2 connected no. This means you have the ACRE plugins installed, but you're not connected to a game server just yet. That's why it says connected no. Don't worry about it saying ArmA 2 connected no. As I said, ArmA 2 plugins, doesn't matter. And also the no doesn't matter just yet because I have to launch the game, go onto a server, and then it's going to switch to connected yes. Now something that's unusual here is that if you launch the United Operations preset, this pop-up will appear. That's because those presets are set up for the United Operations clan, and it will automatically connect you to their TeamSpeak if you select yes here. So just hit no because you want to use your own TeamSpeak probably, or maybe you're playing on some other server. Hit no, the game will launch, and we're almost good to go. Once in game, you can check if those mods are actually activated. You see the ArmA 3 library and ACRE. Behind the frickin' menu, go to configure expansions, and here you should see those mods. If you use other add-ons that require CBA, it's possible that it pops up twice here because one is like the unique United Operations version and the other one is like the regular one. Doesn't really matter, it works anyway. I'm just gonna hop in the editor really quick to show you that ACRE is connecting and does work properly. I've just created myself a player, and now I'm gonna go for empty ACRE radio boxes. Now that's one way to add the radios to your missions. Just add a an ACRE radio box somewhere at the base for people to equip on mission start, or you can directly script them via init line script to the player's inventory. Once I'm in game and check my inventory, you can see that the standard ArmA 3 beta radio has been replaced by an AN PRC-343. This is like the standard basic squad radio that comes with the ACRE mod. If I click on the default transmission button, which is caps lock, my radio will start transmitting, which is indicated by that yellow black box on the lower right corner. And I do also hear the radio clicks that tell me that I'm actually transmitting or receiving any messages over radio. Should you not hear radio clicks or get the pop-up on the top right corner that says not connected to TeamSpeak, something is not working properly, you might not have been launching your game or TeamSpeak as administrator, or your plugins are not working properly. Make sure to recheck those settings, and if it doesn't work, just restart your TeamSpeak or restart your game. Connection errors like that can appear from time to time and will cause the dysfunction of your mod. I just tapped out of the game and I'm here on TeamSpeak. If I click on my name now and I'm in an ArmA 3 game and on a TeamSpeak server that supports this mod, it will say connected to TeamSpeak yes. If other players are in the same channel using the same mod, everyone's connected, we're good to go to use the Advanced Combat Radio Environment mod at its fullest. Alright, I'm done here. Thanks a lot for checking in. I hope it was somewhat understandable, because it's kind of hard to do a tutorial if you expect people to have totally different levels of knowledge. If you're a total noob when it comes to ACRE, you should be able to install that mod now properly, make sure that it functions as it should. And if you don't have a clue how to use the radios actually in game, how to change channels and power and whatnot, you can still watch the link tutorials for ArmA 2 in the description below. If you're not a noob, if you're already familiar with ACRE from ArmA 2, you should at least know now where to download the mod, where to download the preset for withSix, and then you can use it as you're used to. Thanks a lot for watching. Please comment the video, give it a thumbs up, show me some love, subscribe to my channel, check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Steam and Twitch, and stay tuned for my next upload, which will be next Saturday, or if I got time, already on Wednesday. My name's withMaverick, and I'll catch you soon. What's up gamers, withMaverick here with another ArmA 3 tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to install the ACRE mod. It was one of the most popular mods for ArmA 2, and it's one of the most anticipated ones for ArmA 3, I'd say. There is no official version of this one for ArmA 3 beta, but the guys at United have transmission. You have also an extra feature that is direct communication. This means if you're standing close to another player in game, he can actually hear you on TeamSpeak, but if you're further away, you will have to transmit on your radio for other players to hear you. Keep your eyes open for patrols.
Copy that.
The operations did their own port over, and I'm gonna show you how to install their version, because so far it is working with the beta. It is a port over from ArmA 2. It's not a completely new thing, it's not like really tweaked for ArmA 3 just yet, but it does work, and it's great and efficient to use it on a large multiplayer server with a lot of players on TeamSpeak. All those of you who already know what ACRE is, please give me a minute to explain it to the noobs here. I'm gonna show you how to download the United Operations working time. It's not playable, you cannot lead this way, and it's a total mess. ACRE will help you to organize your squads with different radio channels and a few other features. In game you can use a variety of different radios where you can adjust some handles and switches, you can change the power, you can select channels, and you can organize your squads and radio channels according to your mission's needs. After that, TeamSpeak will only communicate with players who use the same frequency on the radios and are within the maximum range version, and install withSix just after that. ACRE is ACRE and means Advanced Combat Radio Environment. The mod is only for multiplayer and it works in combination with TeamSpeak 3. The goal of that mod is to organize the communications on TeamSpeak, make them more realistic, and yeah, it just keeps the whole thing running a bit smoother. If you are playing on a multiplayer server with like 30 people on TeamSpeak and everyone is in the same channel and talks at the same